the exact funnel strategy that made my client $56,000 in 32 days with honestly a little bit over $1,200 in ad spend. What's going on, guys? I'm RJ, just dropping some more free strategies for you guys here on the good old YouTube, okay? This is going to be a part 2 video of the original. That one was way more focused on the ad strategy itself. This one's going to be about the exact funnel strategy that made my client $56,000, okay, in 32 days. Okay, so let's dive in, right? If you want to see that video, go watch it. Doesn't really matter to me. It's just a lot of value, okay? Watch it, don't. So it all starts with your avatar, okay? Your client ICP, right? And you should know this by now. If you don't, well, here you go, okay? So I like to call him your Jimmy, right? You need to know everything about him, what he does for breakfast, what he does for lunch, if he goes to work, if he's an entrepreneur, how old he is, this, that, and the other, and in detail, right? You know, what he, like I said, eats for breakfast, if he's married, if he has a wife, if he has a girlfriend, right? If he has kids, how old are the kids? If he's a boy and girl, boy, right? So you need to know these things. It's going to affect how you talk to them, right? And resonate with them, right? And so you need a no-brainer offer, okay? And that's exactly what we did for him, right? His offer wasn't that strong because he didn't truly connect his Jimmy, his ICP, to his offer, right? You got to merge them together, okay? And from merging them, you're selling the gap, right? You should know this by now, right? To get someone from A to B, the only thing standing in their way is for you to help them, right? And there shouldn't be anything in their mind or that comes to their mind when they want to get here other than your services, right? So you're not selling a product, service, guarantee, discount, or price, right? And so unless you're an e-com store or some random retail owner watching this video, which you're probably not, right? And so they want the outcome, result, in the desired situation. Okay, you should know this by now. If you don't, there you go. Niche, outcome, time frame, risk reversal, and unique mechanism. What makes you so different than everybody else that's selling your stuff? Okay, that leads you to your offer, right? Your offer is not going to be the same as your warm offer in your cold, right? You can try it. It might work. It probably won't, right? It just doesn't resonate the same. Obviously, you have a lot more warm people. Doesn't take as much trust. They already know, like, and trust you anyway. So for the sub headlines and headlines, right, you have to make it from your offer, okay? And so here's an offer I crafted in like 45 seconds right before recording. So in the next 30 days, we help gym owners generate 100 high-ticket consultation bookings, right? So scheduled calls through no ad spend system without zero upfront risk, since you only paid per qualified appointment, right? So you only pay per scheduled call, okay? Generate a high intent consultation bookings in the next 30 days without spending $1 on ads. So that's a headline you can make out of this long ass offer, right? Please don't just slap this entire thing on a funnel page with cold traffic. You're not going to get anywhere, okay? Sub headline you can possibly make. An iteration of it would be a no ad spend system that fills your calendar. You only pay for qualified appointments, right? And he had something like this, right? And so it was like, honestly, I can't remember exactly what his headline was. It was like a few months ago, right? And so I'm about to show you what we have now. So you just need to break it up, okay? Make it a no-brainer, make it irresistible, and persuade them a little bit with value, right? And so this is exactly the headline and the sub-headline we were doing, right? He's a coach, teaching beginners how to, make a tent business, pretty much, right? And he did it in a weekend, okay? It's very, very short, to the point type of program, right? And he was charging, pretty well for this program, right? And so we were able to get $500 off, right? And making $1,500 is pretty decent for a beginner in the tinting business, right? That's 5-6 cars until you get to charge more, okay? If you understand tinting, whatever. If you don't, whatever. Okay, so back on the structure. Okay, we have the sub headline, usually a call out, right? But for this, we had dates, call out, sub headline, VSL video, application, right? And so for the VSL video, you can notice, right, 55 seconds long, very short, right? He is authoritative. He has frame. You can know, like, and trust him from this video if you've never seen him before, right? And so we didn't originally have a 60 or a 55-second long VSL video. We did make a longer one for a few different reasons, which I'll mention here in a second. But in your VSL video, you really need to cover these 6 things, right? And you should, if you already don't know this, you need a hook, credibility, buying motives, offer, objections, and CTA, right? So I'm not going to play our VSL for you, or I'd explain it thoroughly, but I'll probably make a video on VSL videos later down the line, and the messaging you need to do and make for your specific offer and niche or market. So it's a minute long, but I'm not going to play it, right? So this is why. So originally we had a longer video, right? Like I just mentioned, right? Because it's the general public, B2C, they likely need more convincing. They need to watch your stuff more in order to, really, feel they know, like, and trust you, right? And so usually with rich people, you want a shorter video because there's, time is a huge asset to them, right? It's huge. Obviously, the general public, they're typically working, 9 to 5s. They have, more time on their hands. Usually objections are, I need to think about it, or I can't really afford this right now. So you need to handle those up front. With rich people, obviously they can afford it, usually most of the time, right? Unless you're selling, $50,000 offer, then, more times than not, you're really talking to 1% of the 1%, higher up there, right? But do your testing, right? With us, we did the longer video, and it didn't work as well as the shorter one. So we went with the shorter one, right? And we didn't touch it after that because it worked so well, right? Do what's working. Do more of that, right? And so just know your audience. This just comes back to knowing your audience, right? Doing that market research, iterations, and find what's work, iterate after that. Just, tweak it, okay? And so, most people just think, like, messaging is in your content, like in the ads and in your, short form videos on YouTube, or like the videos you're watching me of right now, the YouTube videos, the long form ones. No, it comes down to everything, right? The entire funnel, the obviously everything inside your ad, right? You give meta, okay, headlines, the links to your VSL call funnel page, right? It looks at everything, the headlines, subheadlines, all the copy here, the button, the CTAs, the client testimonials you have, the quotes you have, the revenue tracker you have, the the client case studies. It dives deep into everything. Meta, gets it all, right? How your sales team even talks to you, okay? How you look, how they look, right? On the sales calls, okay? And so it needs to look like this, right? Or some iteration of this, right? This is exactly what we did for him to make that $56,000 in just 32 days, right? And so we had a core offer, right? Like I just explained, headline, subheadline, okay? And we had ads, right? His messaging was decent. Like his ads were decent. He's making some money. So he had some system, but he just couldn't scale and couldn't find that consistency with ads, right? And that's why people run ads sometimes to scale or to find consistency in their business, right? From organic, okay? He wasn't really getting either, which is crazy, right? And so from the ad, obviously you have your funnel and your system that needs to be dialed in, right? If your ads are working and you're not getting anything out the other side, it's your system that's broken, right? If you're at 20, 30K a month and you want to scale and you're trying ads right now and they're not really working, right? Are you getting people to this page? Okay, you're getting people to this page. Okay, so your ads are working. Is the data in the ads manager actually good? Or is your click-through rate like at least 1%, if not 1.5 to 2% or higher, right? If so, and you're getting good CPMs, right? All that jazz, right? All that data, your system is just broken, right? VSL page, confirmation page, and most crucial part in the entire funnel, in my opinion, right? Because this is the first point of contact after somebody books a call with you, right? Are they gonna go for a walk? Are they gonna go talk to their kids? Are they gonna talk to their wife or spouse, right? Are they gonna go eat dinner? You know what I mean? Like, no. Give them videos, give them content to watch so they can know, like, and trust you after the fact. And you can, ethically persuade them in changing their beliefs so they can have a better probability of buying your stuff, right? And so, like I said, ethically, right? You can use the hell out of this. Like you're answering objections and questions, the most ones that you get, and then putting it into videos that they watch. So if they're thinking that this isn't already for them, which a lot of people do after 1 or 2 days, being, oh, like I had a call for this, I don't really care anymore. No, give them information, be the authority figure for them, get them to know, like, and trust you, and you should be good. Like you're putting the ball in your court, and more probability for you to get more revenue. Okay, and so this entire messaging, by the way, from your ICP needs to stay the same. Where's the pen? Right? It needs to stay the same. Okay, so let me put something in the brighter. So from your core offer, it needs to go to the ad. From the ad, it needs to make sense on your landing page, right? In your VSL video. Okay. Oh, that's a terrible circle, but it needs to make a VSL video. Your application has to have the same messaging. Okay, and from the VSL video, as well as all your case studies down here, they're gonna put on there. These make sense. Okay, you need to make sense on the confirmation page as well, right? And so if you don't have, you probably have this funnel, right? You probably have this funnel. Now, if your ads are working and your landing page is as well, and you're getting really bad show up rates, or your close rates aren't great, you need to either have this nurture with framework or need to include this confirmation page, right? And so what is the nurture window framework, right? You need to be doing this, not this, right? Not sending 1 or 2 reminders, not just having your sales team just take care of it, right? Unless they're dialed, right? And so they're probably not, because you're not able to scale, and that's why you're watching this video, okay? And so the nurture window framework, I have an entire video on it, but this is the core basics, okay? So I call the core 4 pieces inside the strategy, plus the closer best practices, which indirectly is a part of the strategy, okay? And so I'll briefly explain this. First core piece is the organic videos, okay? Short form and long form, right? This is any of your content, right? So typically with a warm offer, right, it's easier to sell them because they know, like, and trust you from these content pieces, right? And so you just are naturally pushing it towards them, and they're interested in your stuff, which leads them to buying your stuff, right? And so, yeah, this is the first core piece, okay? And so the next core piece would be value dense emails, right? This is also answering questions, objections, helping them out with value, specific situations that you see a lot of your clients have. You need to put that forward because it's more probable a lot more people have the same situation, right? They need to be fixed, okay? And so then you have the SMS, right? Now with SMS, I just direct it to telling them to, just take a look at the emails and the confirmation page best practice videos, right? I don't really give value here, but it's up to you. It's texting, right? It's mostly for redirection and confirmation and reminders, right? That's what I use it for. It's totally up to you which direction you want to go. Okay, and the retargeting ads, unless you're with like bigger budgets, you're retargeting ads inside after somebody who books a call, you're not going to be using this, right? And so if you're retargeting, you know how retargeting works. If you don't, and you're new to ads, somebody goes on your here, we can go up here real quick, right? And so you have your ad, right? Somebody watches your ad, or somebody watches your ad, then goes to your landing page. You can retarget them, right? A lot of people do it. It's very useful and very effective, right? Now, what this would do inside this strategy, you are here, right? They're here. They book a call with you, and then they get just targeted, as peppered with ads, right? I don't even know what that is, right? But you get the point, right? They just get peppered. They book a call, and so they get content placed in front of them on Instagram, in Meta, or TikTok, whatever. And so they get peppered with content, right? The content that you want to change their beliefs with, right? Your common questions, your objections, things people are likely to hear about your program that are negative, right? Because a lot of people just go online, right, and look up XYZ company bad, or reviews, or look it up on all the AI softwares nowadays, right? You need to handle these objections before, right? It's going to directly benefit you, okay? And so those are the retargeting ads, and the closer best practices. I'll leave it in a different video, but it's pretty important too, right? Just worry about, for this video, the entire funnel page. We had all these incorporated except for the retargeting ads, his budget, obviously, in $1,200, you're not going to do retargeting ads after the call. We were retargeting for like like funnel page visits, or like if they saw one of the ads for longer than 3 seconds, right? We were retargeting people. We were mainly focusing on like the people who like watched the VSL and clicked off, or like filled out the application and then didn't book, like those type of people, right? It was way more effective than just, retargeting the upfront people, right? And so the closer best practices, I'll keep it brief. And so you have to have, if you have a setter, obviously they're going to contact them, right? We want these closers to build that relationship with the prospect as much as possible, right? And so what you might think of doing is the closer is going to contact the prospect as well after the setter qualifies them, right? Or you can do it as soon as they book and just have the closer take the setter's job. It's really up to you who you want to pay, both of them. You just want to pay a closer and have him do more. Really up to you. So what we did is calling them or sending a selfie video and texting them, right? So they know it's you, and then sending over certain videos that would help benefit the prospect, right? Go watch my other video. I go way in depth on it, right? It's pretty nice. I don't really care though. You can watch it, you cannot. It's just more value, right? So if you like this video, I do have more, right? And so down below, there's a link to book a call with me, talk about strategies. If you're scaling past 20K a month, or you need help doing it and you want some more help from me, you could hop on a call, talk more about everything. Talk soon.